Iran stands at a historic crossroads today. This is not an ordinary economic crisis. It is not just a story of inflation or unemployment. It is a story of collapsing trust. Today, Iran's banks are crumbling. But what is really falling is not just the banks. It is the entire system. The lockdowns imposed by the Ayatollah, harsh controls, and policy decisions have pushed Iran into an economic depression where public trust in the government and the system has been completely shattered. And history tells us one thing very clearly. Time equals sign 0.6s. When a country's citizens lose faith in their own banks, the crisis is no longer just about money. It becomes a crisis of the nation's very existence. Bank runs. When fear moves faster than money. What is happening in Iran today is unprecedented. Millions of people are trying to withdraw money from their bank accounts at record levels. Long queues stand outside bank branches. ATMs are empty. Online banking is paralyzed. Fear is spreading like air. The government is unable to stop this panic. Instead, frightened by the fear itself, it has imposed even harsher, almost authoritarian controls. And this is the point where the crisis stops being just protests. This is where it begins to take the shape of Iranian revolution. When banks collapse, 2.0, regimes do not survive for long. History repeats itself again and again. Decision. A warning bell. Last night, the situation worsened further. Iran's largest state-owned bank, time equals sign 0.6 acre bank Melli, suddenly suspended cash withdrawals. The reason? A bank run. People rushed simultaneously to pull their money out. This decision itself is a signal that the government has acknowledged that the situation is slipping out of its control. Today, the average Iranian has almost no faith that the government can protect their money. That is why people are saying, "We want our money now." And the government's response is, "You won't get it." Time equals sign 0.6s. But how did all of this begin? This question is crucial because this movement did not begin with politics, not with elections, and not with any foreign conspiracy. This movement began with hunger, inflation, everything getting expensive every month. Iranians could no longer afford the cost of living. Inflation was not rising yearly, every month. Rice, cooking oil, medicines, baby milk. Everything kept getting more expensive. But wages? They remained completely frozen. An ordinary Iranian was watching his life collapse in front of his eyes every single day, with no relief in sight. Then the government made it even worse. And then came the most devastating decision. The government deliberately devalued the Iranian currency, the Rial. Now the question arises, why would any government intentionally destroy the value of its own currency? The answer is simple. Time equals sign 0.6s. A corrupt power structure. The real game behind devaluation. Iran's ruling elite sell oil, and oil is sold in dollars. When the rial loses value, every dollar earned brings in more rials. Put simply, before, $1 equals sign 700,000 rials. Now, $1 equals sign 1,400,000 rials. Overnight, their income doubled. Who got rich and who crushed? The clerics got richer. The Revolutionary Guard got richer. The oil mafia got richer. And the ordinary Iranian? Completely crushed. Why? Because most of Iran's essential goods, time equals sign 0.6s, come from abroad. When the currency collapsed, imports became twice as expensive. The result? People's lifetime savings turned into paper. This was not policy. It was looting. This was not economic reform. This was not a necessity. This was open looting. And the money earned from this looting was not spent on the Iranian people. It went to Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis. Iranian citizens are starving so that the Ayatollah can fund proxy wars across the Middle East. Full shelves, empty pockets. Today in Iran, store shelves are full, but there are no buyers because people have no money. Cooking oil that once cost 790,000 reals now costs 1.885 million reals. Eggs, chicken, rice, everything has become painfully expensive. In just 10 days, cooking oil prices rose by 133%, and the government itself admits this is not over. Things will get worse. December 28th, when people took to the streets, time =0.6s. This was the breaking point. On December 28th, people poured into the streets. At first, the government tolerated it. The president even admitted mistakes. But then the slogans changed. Death to the dictator. Time =0.6s. Internet shut down, fear turned on. That's when the game changed. The Ayatollah shut down the internet. The old authoritarian playbook. First silence voices, then begin the crackdown. But he forgot one thing. Banking frozen =, panic ignited. When people cannot access online banking, when cards stop working, fear takes over, and fear turns into a bank run. Now it's not just ordinary citizens. Regime insiders are also pulling money out. Millions of dollars are being moved abroad. European visas are being sought. Even the family of Iran's parliamentary speaker, time =0.6s, is preparing to leave the country. When the captain abandons the ship, history has one rule. When those who run the system start preparing to flee, the end is not far. The same thing happened in 1979. Oil stopped flowing, money ran out, the army stopped getting paid, and the Shah's regime collapsed. Why are bank runs so dangerous? Because they become self-fulfilling prophecies. Fear spreads. People withdraw money. Banks collapse. The system breaks. And when the system breaks, even the military stop getting paid. The Syrian warning. The same thing happened in Syria. Salaries stopped. Soldiers stopped fighting. The regime collapsed. That is the fear, keeping the Ayatollah awake at night. The last attempt reopened the markets. That is why today, the government is using loudspeakers to beg shopkeepers, open your shops. But the opponents also know the lessons of 1979. Reza Pahlavi's call. The son of the former Shah, Reza Pahlavi, is openly calling for one thing: cut off the regime's financial lifeline. Because every war is won with three things: money, money, and money. The final question. Now, the question is not just whether protests will continue. The real question is, can Iran's system survive this? Or will history repeat itself once again? Only time will tell. Thank you for watching the full video. I am your friend, Newsboy. We'll meet again soon with a new video. Until then, goodbye. Take care.